Hello everybody, and welcome to part 2 of the lightsaber PVC tutorial. Let's get right back into it. So what I'm going to do here is, that's pretty much going to be the end of my lightsaber, and I'm going to attach 3 small rings leading up to that, grind them down, being very careful of course, and get that nice and smooth again, because it's problems with it fitting properly. You got to kind of cut it a little and get it to attach, sand that down, sand down the inside of those little O-rings that you see up there, what I'm doing right now, and from here you're pretty much ready to, make the markings for where you want to put them so they attach properly and even. And go ahead, heat up those O-rings, not too hot, just to where they're just barely flexible. You pop them on like I did with those 2, gluing them, heating them. And what I'm going to do now is, for the last O-ring, I'm going to use the medium sized followed by the large size right there, fitting over the smallest PVC pipe piece to make the end piece for the emitter. Now that that's all attached, that's pretty much your piece. Just got to cut this end off, get that sanded down and all smoothed off, and now we're ready to add some more pieces to it. Little tiny grips and just little tiny pieces I'm going to add to it to highlight it and accentuate it and give it more shape. So you see where I'm going to do the markings and whatnot, and where I'm going to add the little tiny extra little strips for grip. So go ahead and just start cutting that with the cutoff wheel and get those little pieces, and that's pretty much what you're going to be using. And I'm going to put them there and where else I marked for them. And the thing is with this is where it gets really tricky and dangerous, is sanding these things down. You see how I'm cutting them here. This is a good idea, just to get them all like popped out real quick so you have a bunch of them. And it's going to be the grinding them down and making them small that's going to be difficult and dangerous. Heat that up. Make sure you don't overheat these little strips, because they will burn real quick and look bad. But yeah, just slap those all on there really quickly and repeat that process until you get this as your result. Now go ahead and take the bottom, and add those little stubs to the bottom, or just be creative when you do your own lightsabers. You could do all kinds of neat stuff like this, and I used a poker chip to put on the bottom of the hilt, but you could actually flatten out a piece of PVC if you heat it up, and just put a weight on it, or just find a little piece of plastic from anywhere and glue that on there. And what I did here is I took apart a radio for some of the knobs and buttons, and what I did is, you take a button, or like a ignition button of some kind, and you stick a screw in it, and you make sure that screw is glued in, like you see right there in the picture. There are the screws right in there. Make sure the screws are in there, and that's what's going to attach to the inside of the lightsaber, so they don't just fall off. You go ahead here, you put the drill that in there, and they pop right in. So this right here is why I said get some Bondo. Just throw on some Bondo car filler if you have any, and that helps hide any of those little unsightly gaps that we saw that we had to make on the larger PVC pipe pieces to fit around there. Then you just trommel that down and nice and smooth, and go ahead, sand it down. Make sure the whole lightsaber is sanded down and smooth at this point, because now we are ready to start painting it. So the colors I'm going to use is going to be a gold and gloss black to paint mine. Tester's Model Airplane paint works pretty good. I'm just going to go ahead and just start painting it, and paint all the pieces where I want to paint it, and to get it to look the way I desire it to look. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking measurements, because I'm going to cover certain parts in Reflectix tape, and the thing about the Reflectix tape is you kind of want to use it in one direction. You don't want to have pieces going one way and then pieces going the other way, because that actually will show a lot more. I was in a rush when I had to make these sabers. It was for a production over in Norway, so I had to make 6 of them in a few days, so I was just kind of hustling and bustling through this. When you do this, you could take your time, and also when you use the Bondo, if you use Bondo, usually use a putty knife instead of your fingers, as it can get messy and it's not too good for you. Go ahead, you put on this Reflectix tape and just cover the whole saber, or whatever parts of the saber you want. You could paint it and design it pretty much the way you like, and this is just me showing you how I'm painting it, and this is my own variation of it. So there's really not much to explain here. It's just this whole little sequence here, I guess, is a montage of me painting it and you know, giving it its colors and stuff like that. And this again is just something that you could build. Like, I believe I built 6 lightsabers for nothing, next to nothing, out of this stuff, out of this PVC pipe. You get big pieces of PVC pipe, and you could make, I think for about $10 worth of PVC pipe, you could actually make about 6 lightsabers. So now I'm ready to just distress it. What I'm going to do here is just distress it with the flat black latex paint and just get in the creases and all that stuff to kind of give it a little bit of an aged look, and to hide the rush job, to just make it look more worn. And once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and attach the ignition switches, the little buttons. And here's an interesting trick. To get the lightsaber blade in, now that's hollowed out. The inside of that hilt is hollowed out, so you could actually put a blade inside of there. To attach it, with the buttons, you have a longer screw coming out of the buttons that's securely fastened, and so you could put the blade in, and the way to attach it is to unscrew the buttons and bringing out the screw with it, and the blade comes out, or you could put it back in, and you know, and that's the way you can get your blades in and out, and you hide the screws in the buttons and in a belt hook or whatever. But that's pretty much it. That's the saber right there, and you know, you could see there's various other designs and things you could do with it and just go crazy with it, like this one here. But hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. Sorry it took so long for me to finish it up, but I will hopefully be doing another VT very soon.